Technology is very important. One of the challenges that we are actually struggling with is what we call the inadequacy in terms of staffing. And I believe that if we are able to incorporate technology, then we are able to ensure that learners are able to learn remotely and get the skills. But as a county, we'll also sit down and see what can work at the domestic level, and where possible, we'll be able to domesticate this legal framework and be able to implement. But I want to appeal to partners that the process of policy formulation does not end at the time that is ascended either by the governor or the president. It calls for still working together even at the implementation, because both levels of government are struggling with a thin resource envelope. And therefore, we need each other to ensure that first there is what we call budgetary allocation at the county, but where there are certain gaps, then we all still come together and ensure that we do implementation together. And this will actually create what we call the co-ownership. And I know, again, even at the implementation process, there are some challenges that are likely to be realized. But then when we work in collaboration and in partnership, we are able to address these issues as we implement.
If we can embrace this technology in these institutions, then we will have achieved a lot. And such summits are, of course, bringing us towards that. I want to assure you that once technology is brought to our education sector, all will be achieved. And of course, as I've said, evidence, data, it will be seen.
I think the biggest gap maybe 10 years ago was a lack of willingness to engage with what technology would mean for education system. I think that has changed. Our teachers are ready to be capacity built, if that's the word to use. And I'm also glad that the government is also ready to rethink the way they build capacity. So we need to think about innovative ways of how do you get these teachers so well versed with technology that they're the ones that are using it to learn for themselves and also to teach. So the gaps exist. Infrastructure, of course, will continue to be an issue, and I know that the government is doing what they can in collaboration, of course, with different partners. This is important because the kind of change we want to see in our education system will not happen if we all don't come together. So I love the collaboration. I have loved the participation that we've had so far, and hopefully we will be able to come back next year and see major strides in how technology is integrated in education, because collaborations will come out of this process.
And EdTech East Africa has been here for the last 10 years, since 2014. We are an ecosystem builder. We just want to ensure that there's learning continuity in terms of how learning happens in the whole country. We think about it in terms of like when all of us come together, from policymakers, EdTech entrepreneurs, teachers and students. When they come together, we can make sure that all of us are learning well, that learning is accessible to everybody, that it's resilient in areas where it's affected by many factors.